Hello everybody. Today we're going to see how I draw Malice. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quick sketch just for myself, just to make sure I put it in a pose that's good, it doesn't fall off the page, and looks cool, you know? That's really what we want to do, is make something nice. So I know you can't see it. Don't worry about that. You'll see in a second. This is mostly for me, just to make sure that I get everything on the screen. And so that on the screen it can be seen. That's basically what I'm going for, right? All right. And then I'm going to switch over to Sharpie, and you'll be able to see much better. Okay. That's not too bad. And this is not going to take too long because this is a lot of, again, mostly color. We'll take care of that. And the rest is pretty much the contours of her body. Not a lot of detail as far as armor and things like that. You know, it's just, you know, cool old rock and roll character, right? Okay, I'm going to draw a few more little details here to make sure I don't forget the cool stuff. Because again, that's why we're here, right? To draw a cool character. I would hate for you guys to be drawing and all of a sudden you realize, like, hey, he didn't put in this or he didn't put in that. And he's a big lame-o square. So, I gotta impress you guys, right? Ooh, there's going to be lots of folds and creases in this one. I like drawing that. That's kind of the fun thing about sketching this out, is I get to make it up as I go. And so I like the creases and folds in material just because it just, I don't know, something about it just stands out. It's different than you know, the contours of a body and stuff like that. So it's one of my favorite things to draw. So seeing this is like, ooh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drill this, I'm going to do that, and then it'll look really cool. Okay, and so let's see. This hand I'm gonna have up in a fist, a little defiant. Check me out, rock and roll, defiant fist like that. Okay, I'll put the thumb in front like that. So there's not a lot of detail we'll have to put in that either. Okay, so let me just sketch out a head real fast. And see, whenever you're sketching, it's best. A lot of people start with the head. I do the whole body and work it through to make sure that it's going to fit in here first, because if you start drawing this, like, what if I was drawing it this big and by the time I got here I'm like, you know, down to the knees or the waist, you know? So I like to make sure that I get the proportions right, the sizing right, and that I've got it all in the actual picture, you know? So I like to draw the entire thing first, and then I add the detail. And plus, honestly, this picture, or these drawings that I do, they are so small that it's kind of almost pointless to add in too much detail here. So I just kind of make sure I have enough room for all the cool stuff. So, you know, I can't really go crazy here anyway. But I do got to make sure that I fit enough of it in that it looks good. She got the choker piece. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, so I think I'm ready to switch over to my Sharpies. And I'm going to use a fine point Sharpie and a pen Sharpie. And you're welcome to use Sharpies, or if you want to just use a pencil, you go for it. I'm going to give her a tail too. Just to have some fun. Well, I mean, I know the character's got it, but I'm just saying the posing, I'm just kind of arcing it like that. So, okay, cool. I say we switch over, or I say I'm going to switch over now. And so you can see it much better. So I'm going to start with the eyes. Just because my sketch works out, I know where it's going to be. I want to make sure that I do this right. So I'm just going to draw the top, the brows, just to make sure I got them straight across. And I like to do left and right. That way I know, A, I'm not forgetting something, and B, that it looks good, you know? Okay. I'm just gonna close out the eyes like that. I think that looks pretty good. Good enough for the tiny small detail that we're adding. Alright, give her a couple of brows. And I'm not gonna add, again, not add too much detail because it's too tiny and we'll end up, especially with this, it's gonna bleed everywhere. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of a bridge of a nose and some nostrils like that. Maybe close that out. And that's it. That's all I'm doing for that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do her mouth. Like this, add the bottom of the lip, like that. I think that's good. That's all I'm adding for that. I'm gonna walk away from there, so to speak, okay? So I'm gonna draw her chin like this. I'm gonna come here and kind of point out the face a little bit. I'm gonna go up. And I'm doing this with the finer Sharpie just because I can control it much better. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So I'm gonna go up, oops, that's way off. So I'm gonna correct that real quick. I'm gonna go up for the chin, for the hair, up like that. And I think the rest I can do with the big fat Sharpie. But that will let me control this much. And this is really hard to do with the Sharpie because, again, you can only get so much control out of it, you know. Okay, I tell you what, let's do a little bit more of the hair. Let's go ahead and bring that point down like this. Again, so we can control it much better with this Sharpie. I can make it a point, a nice point like that. And then I can draw the horns. And the horns are kind of something like this. Not like real horns. They almost look like crystals, you know? Well, to me it does. Maybe it doesn't to you, but I guess there's no way of saying that it's not the right kind of horn because you can't say what's the right kind of horn because this isn't a real thing, right? That's the nice thing about creative license, or, you know, artistic license. You can do it however you want. Okay, so let's switch over to, I'm going to switch over to the big fat Sharpie, and I'm going to draw the rest of her hair. So I'm going to draw the back of her hair like this, around. I'm going to bring it down, draw some points like this. Okay, and draw this other side over here like that. And I'm just kind of whipping it like this. And I should have done it with a finer Sharpie so I can get some real fine lines, you know, but I'm not going to worry about it. That's good enough. I think we're great and we can move on from here. So I'm going to draw her neck like this down to her jacket. And then I can draw the little choker that she's wearing and work on the rest of the jacket from there. So I'm going to draw the inseam of the jacket, or the inseam, the inner edge of the jacket like that. It's going to come around. And again, I like doing this to build off of it. Now I know where the other lines are going to go. So I can do the rest of the lapel like this. And bring it in and close it down. Bring it down like that. Close it off like this. And she's wearing a little shirt inside like that that's got kind of a point. So I guess it's kind of connected right there. And like this. Okay? That'll be her little top for that. So now I can build off the rest of this. So, like I said, I got a lot of creases and lines in there. So here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. This is going to be really cool. So I'm going to draw the edge of her arms like this. And I'm just going to kind of do this. Little jagged things like that. And you'll see why in a second. I'm going to draw her sleeve like this. Point it out that way. Connect it. Come back in. Do this. Close off her jacket. Close it there. I'm going to do the same thing over here and I'll show you what I was doing there. So same thing, jagged to her sleeve, which is bent like this. Close it out to the elbow, up here to the inside of her jacket, and connect it like that. So this is what I was doing. This is why I love drawing the lines here. But first, I'm gonna draw, like, she's got this like chain thing that connects from her sleeve. So I'm going to just draw something like this, and this doesn't have to be exact. You draw it how you want to draw. It's like this chain that's connected. So I'm just going to kind of do something like this just to draw like the chain. It doesn't have to be exact. that. Just to put it on top, you know? And it's an actual chain link, but it's hard to draw that small, so we're just going to take artistic license and do something like this, just to have more control, you know? I mean, technically it's a chain where you would draw like one link, an opposite link to the next link, and they would connect like this, you know? Something like that. But it's so tiny, you can't put all that in there, you know? So we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to do something like that just to accent it. So I'm going to go ahead and add these lines, and then add some crease lines in here. And that's kind of why I wanted to do those bumps, just because it'll stand out and kind of do something like that. So see, you've created a something that's unique and different by doing something like that. Okay, so same thing, we're going to do it over here, but we're just going to kind of do like this because it's underneath that side, and that's all. Okay, so I'm going to add some creases over here for the bumps or the bends in her sleeve, and just have a little fun with it like that, you know? Okay, so let's draw the rest of her arms, so we know where they are. So I'm going to bring her wrist up like this to her fist, wrist to the fist, draw the back of the hand, the pinky in like this, the folds, and then the meat of her hand. And so now I could build off of that. So I know her thumb's in the front, and I'll do like this. So now I can just draw a few bumps like that, because you can't see the rest of those fingers because of the pinky. So that's good enough like that. See, it's up and defiant. Okay, and she's got a couple of bracelets we're going to draw like that. So now let's do the same thing over here, but the opposite side. Same thing as a fist. So we're going to come down to the wrist to the fist, draw the thumb and the fingers like this, which are tucked in under the thumb. And so now I can kind of do something like this. And see, there's not too much I got to draw. Draw those bracelets that she has there. And so that's all we got to do. See, the opposite side. So good enough. Let's draw her. She has like these little danglies that are hanging down right there, which again, kind of too small to draw. But we're just going to do something like this, just to represent that they were there. Just something like that. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay. Okay, switching back over to my big Sharpie. So I'm going to draw down to her belt, which I'm going to put right about there. And that's my defining line. I guess that's the best way to say it. So I'm going to bring up her hips like that, up to her waist. And she has like tattered pants, so instead of going all the way down, we'll draw to the pants. So I'm going to come down like this and just draw like that. Just some tattered, you know, lines. This one's going to be like this. Okay, so I can draw up to her hip like that. And so now I can draw the contours of her leg, pretty much go into the boot. So all we got to do is draw the leg now. So I'm going to draw the muscles. There's the knee, the inner of the leg down to the foot like this. Same thing over here. So I'm going to draw the thigh, the knee, to the other part of the back of the leg down to her foot like that. And let's just close it off. We're here, so I'm going to close it like that. So let's do the same thing over here. So I'm going to draw the top of her leg to her knee, down to her shin, to the top of her boot like that. Same thing. This is going to come down to the back of her leg, to the back of her knee, to her thigh, down to her foot, like that. Booyah! To that point. Okay. She's got a belt, so let's draw that in real fast. So we're going to just do something like this. It doesn't have to be exact. I like to leave the pants open like this. Oh, actually, oh no, now that I'm looking at it, look, watch this. So we're gonna draw an edge like that and float it like that, because she's got like this cool looking belt that has like a ring holding it together. Something like that. If you don't do it, you don't do it. No big deal. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Let's do that little buckle, or the clasp for that. And again, I like to add little crease lines for her pants. You know, everybody has them. Everybody has creases in their pants, and just do like that, and that'll add some more tears to it, like that, something like that. Okay, and you know what? The rest I'm going to take care of with color. She has like all this detail in her legs with the leggings and down to her feet right here. But I'm going to do that with color. So I'm going to color the rest. No! Stop the press! I almost forgot the tail. Woo! Let's finish that up real quick. So I'm going to add that, then we'll do the rest with color. So I'm just going to kind of follow what I did here. Go up, boop. Do like this, something cool, and just kind of follow it around. And if I don't hit it exact, I don't hit it exact. It's no big deal. I'm just going to come around and do that. That is done. We'll take care of coloring with the rest, and that is Malice. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.